Hey guys, Threshold Thursday. For this one, let's do a standards video real quick because, every year on the Thursday, the day before the Open, we don't know what to program because a lot of what we want to do, a lot of our staples may come up tomorrow. So we do have some dumbbell things today. They're probably all fair game for the Open, although I just don't think so, so we'll find out. Standards. Keep this in mind. Almost everything we're gonna do today, the standard hinges on making sure you finish the movement. And then the other part is, and this is just my rule, sort of arbitrary, but I'd like you to follow it anyway, switch every 4 on the first 2 movements. So what do I mean? On the push jerks, dip, drive. If you catch it with a bent knee, stand it up before coming back down and cycling through, standing up each single rep. And then it's time to switch after my 4th rep. I'll switch arms here. I'll use my off arm to help it first. And before I start my next rep, that hand gets clear. Dip, drive, right? And so that's the push jerk. For the hang cleans, you're probably gonna wanna use a flexed hip so that you can drive forward, get that shrug and high pull, and then elbow up out in front. One head of the dumbbell touches my shoulder. Not done yet because my knees are bent. Stand it up. So when I cycle through, stand, stand. When it's time to switch, as long as I've completed a rep, I don't care where you switch. You can switch here and just go into that next rep where you fully stood it up. The deadlifts, I'm gonna have you guys switch every rep. A couple of reasons. Number one, I think it's kind of more fun that way. And number 2, it gets you into the habit of the way we like to start seeing people switch on the more common dumbbell movement that we see, which is the alternating dumbbell snatch. So I'm gonna have, it doesn't matter when you switch. Again, as long as you can stand it up, it's one deadlift, you can put it down and then go to the next. And that's a fine 1-2 rep combo. Here's what I'm gonna do, all right? I'm gonna switch. As soon as I fully stood up, I'm gonna drop it into my other hand and then use the momentum down to start my next rep. So locked out, locked out, locked out, locked out. And we just have to make sure as coaches that we're looking around and making sure that you're not switching too early, which you might get into the habit of. This workout's all about moving quickly though, so I can totally see that happening. All right, so be careful with that. I'll let you know how it goes for me in a minute. So the WOD itself, it's pretty deload. In fact, I probably would have wanted to write this workout without the 1-minute rest if it hadn't been for the fact that the Open's tomorrow and that, it is deload week. So just pointing that out. Also, we did a threshold type workout earlier in the week in the Chief, but look, just trust the process on this one. Take the 1-minute rest because rounds 4 and 5 get a little spicy. That being said, deload, right? We don't have weights heavier than 50, and we don't have, 60s and 70s, and so I think that usually means that there's a lot of people want to do the RX because it seems within reach, but just keep in mind that all of these movements could potentially come up in the Open tomorrow, and it is deload week, and you want to make sure that this is not something that'll kill you. Having just gone through it, it should be pretty easy to go through an entire round unbroken, so that should be the weight that you err on the side of caution with, right? Something that you could do the entire thing unbroken. As usual on a Thursday, and since we are going to keep the rest, we're looking for consistency across rounds. I think you can finish these rounds in like 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 15 seconds, something like that. I really do believe that. You got to do your own math for the 1-minute rest and when to re-begin and all that stuff. But try to look for consistency across how long it takes you to complete an entire round. Also, I didn't mention this in the other video. Let's do 1 head of the dumbbell only for the deadlifts. That typically is the standard for deadlifts. It feels easier than it needs to be, but let's just, let's not mess with it. So let's do 1 head of the dumbbell today. Any other questions, let me know. Just make sure that you, in order to quickly finish these rounds, in addition to consistency, thing that you need to do is transition quickly. So really work on those transitions, both from one hand to the next and from one movement to the next. Get on that jump rope quick. All right, guys, enjoy, and I'll see you tomorrow.